The Rocky Mountain foothills of Colorado stretched out in layers of green and gray, where dense ponderosa pine forests met open meadows dotted with wildflowers. Just outside Estes Park, the wilderness pressed against human civilization in complicated ways. Old logging roads wound through the trees, and forgotten places existed where people had dumped things they no longer wanted. Rusted car frames, broken appliances, old bicycles left to decay among the aspens and pines. It was early September, and the morning air carried that perfect Colorado crispness. A young mule deer buck moved through the forest with nervous energy. He was maybe 3 years old, with a decent rack of antlers spreading about 20 inches across. He'd survived 2 winters and was learning his territory well. That morning, following a game trail downslope, something caught his attention. A different scent. The metallic tang of rust mixed with rubber. His nose twitched. Not dangerous exactly, but unusual. Worth investigating. He pushed through thick serviceberry bushes and emerged into a small clearing that held an illegal dump site. 2 pickup truck bodies sat rusting into the earth. Scattered around them lay decades of human trash. And leaning against a dead tree stood a pile of old bicycles, their frames twisted and covered in rust. The buck approached cautiously. Deer are naturally curious, always investigating new things in their territory. He sniffed at a bicycle frame. Nothing threatening, just another strange human artifact. Then he noticed one bicycle wheel propped at an angle against the tree. The rubber tire still held its circular shape, and the dark opening in its center looked interesting. Maybe it contained something worth checking. He lowered his head, extending his neck to investigate. His nose pushed through the opening easily, but when he tried to pull back, something stopped him. The wheel had slipped down around his neck like a collar, and his antlers caught on the rim. He couldn't pull back without his antler tips snagging. He couldn't push forward without the wheel pressing against his chest. The buck panicked. He thrashed sideways, trying to shake it loose. It bounced but didn't come off. He backed up rapidly, hooves scrambling. He crashed through bushes, the wheel bouncing with every movement, throwing off his balance. For an hour, he tried everything. He rubbed against tree trunks. He backed under low branches, but his antlers, the very things that made him look impressive, now trapped him completely. If you've ever felt trapped by something you couldn't escape, hit that subscribe button. For the next 5 days, the buck moved through the foothills like a ghost. The bicycle wheel bounced against his neck with every step, rubbing the fur raw, making it nearly impossible to feed properly. He could still crop grass, but reaching higher branches was impossible. The wheel caught on everything. Other deer avoided him. The does gave him wide berth, spooked by this strange buck carrying something unnatural. He'd become an outsider, marked by human trash in a way that separated him from the natural order. The buck grew weaker. He couldn't feed efficiently, couldn't rest properly, couldn't move through thick cover without making noise that advertised his location to every predator. By the 6th day, desperate, he moved closer to areas where humans traveled regularly. Forest rangers Michael Davidson and Tom Bennett were conducting a routine trail inspection that morning, walking a popular hiking route through the foothills west of Estes Park. They were discussing the upcoming elk rut when Tom suddenly stopped. "Mike, you see that?" Through the trees, maybe 70 yards away, a mule deer buck stood absolutely still. But something looked wrong. Tom pulled out binoculars. "What's around his neck?" Michael raised his own binoculars and sucked in a sharp breath. That's a bicycle wheel. How did he get a bicycle wheel stuck around his neck? They could see the whole picture now. The black rubber tire encircling the buck's neck, the raw spots in his fur, his obvious exhaustion. The animal was in serious distress. "We have to get that off him," Tom said. "Agreed. Let's try approaching slowly. He's exhausted, maybe tired enough that he won't bolt immediately." They separated slightly, approaching from different angles, moving with slow, non-threatening body language. They kept their voices low and calm. "Easy there, buddy. We're trying to help you out." The buck watched them, muscles tensed, but he was so tired. Michael got within 20 feet, then 15. "Tom, can you circle behind him? If I keep his attention forward, maybe you can grab the wheel from behind." Tom moved carefully through the trees, placing each foot with caution. The buck's attention stayed locked on Michael. Tom reached a position directly behind the buck, maybe 6 feet away. Slowly, he extended his hands. The buck sensed movement and started to pivot, but Michael spoke sharply. "Hey, over here, buddy." Tom's hands closed on the wheel. The buck exploded into motion, but Tom held on. The wheel started to slide upward, catching on the antlers. Michael lunged forward, grabbing the other side, and together they lifted and twisted. The wheel popped free. The buck bounded forward, covering 30 feet in 3 leaps before stopping to look back. He stood there, sides heaving, his head moving freely for the first time in nearly a week. Then he took 2 steps back toward them and lowered his head slightly. Acknowledgement, recognition. Then he turned and walked away, not running, just walking steadily upslope toward deeper forest. His gait was strong. He was going to be fine. Drop your reactions in the comments if this story touched you. Michael and Tom examined the bicycle wheel. Old, rusted, the kind of trash people thought they could hide in the wilderness. "We should organize a cleanup of that dump site," Michael said. "Make sure no other animals get hurt." Agreed. This incredible story from Colorado's Rocky Mountain foothills reminds us that wildlife and human civilization exist side by side in complicated ways. Sometimes humans cause problems, but sometimes, when we choose to help, the wilderness gives us moments of connection we'll never forget. If this story inspired you, subscribe for more incredible tales of human compassion and wildlife survival.